Chris Bolts coming in with a recap and review of episode 1127 of One Piece. Luffy versus Kaido. Did I just say Kaido? He fired for that. Luffy versus Kizaru. A fierce kaleidoscopic battle. And what a kaleidoscopic battle it was. But before I do get into the content, make sure you do like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, all that good stuff helps me out. Now this obviously picks up from where we last left off, where Luffy in his giant Gear 5 form picks up a Kizaru. And man, what he does with Kizaru is actually quite funny. This dude, Kizaru, by the way, he is so laid back. He's quite possibly one of the most calmest people that I, in any type of anime or anything like that. He put Shunsui from Bleach Shane. That's how calm he is. He makes Shikamaru look lively and look like he's ready to go out on the town. In fact, it'd be kind of an interesting anime to just watch Kizaru, Shikamaru, and Shunsui. You know how boring that would be, but yet it'd be so entertaining to watch. Watch these three dudes off of there. Maybe throw Benimaru off of there from Fire Force too. But anyways, back to this. Luffy picks him up and gets ready to just go ahead and just launch him. He's gonna twirl him around, and then he just tosses him all the way out. There he goes. He just tossed him like he was nothing. Let's see. Let me go ahead and find a really good. There we go. He tossed him so far out, and I thought this can't be the sum of this entire fight, can it? This can't be the sum total of this entire fight. But if it is, hey, it was fun while it lasted. He tossed him out of there, and now we see Brook right here. He finally got to see Luffy-san's new form with his own eyes. Of course, he doesn't have any eyes. He doesn't have any eyes or anything like that, and just shook him to his core. Hey, he doesn't have that either, does he? He doesn't have any of that, and of course, our Nami, she comes in and she gets tired of his bullshit. Of course, Brook says it's been a while that he's been punished like that by Nami. But anyways, everything is all fluid now. It's all moving. Chopper says that he has to take care of Nico Robin, Stussy, too Stussy. Remember she got finger blasted by that turncoat Rob Lucci. Was he really a turncoat? I don't think he ever said he was on the side of the Straw Hats or anything like that. Just for that temporary fight against the Seraphim. That's what they're called, the Seraphim. Rob Lucci only teamed up with the Straw Hats just to take on the Seraphim, but he never really actually joined their side or anything. So he actually finger shot Stussy, but of course Stussy kind of betrayed the CP0 to side. She never really was part of them or anything like that. She actually was always on the side of Dr. Vegapunk. So, but of course, as all of this is going down, Stella Vegapunk notices a Jewel Bunny that's running around, and he has to make an effort to go and save her. And of course, everybody's against that plan because at first Atlas is getting ready to leave off, and then Stella Vegapunk says he wants to join in to save Jewelry Bunny. But of course, all this is going down because all the Navy is there to try to kill Vegapunk. So we can't really have him leaving or anything. But of course, the main reason why Atlas wants to get out there, she wants to take control of the pacifistas. And at least on Egghead Island, no one has higher authority over the pacifistas other than the Vegapunks. And so that she has to go out, she's wanting to go out there and get control of those pacifistas. As she says right here, whoever controls the pacifistas win. So that's her ultimate goal and everything like that. And here's Stella Vegapunk being chastised by Usopp saying, hey, you can't go out there because if you go out there, everybody's trying to kill you. And all what we're doing is going to be in vain. And he kind of relents there for a moment. But then he contacts Frankie, and I always like this kind of stuff right here. To see the screen right here, Frankie had admitted to Stella Vegapunk that Kizaru had kicked Bonnie, and He goes, how does a grown man like you let her get kicked? And of course, there's a reason why he's saying that, because we all, if you guys know about Jewelry Bonnie, then it won't be surprising what I'll say here towards the end. But there's a reason why he's saying it like that. He thinks of Bonnie as his granddaughter, and it's kind of upsetting that Kizaru had kicked her, because Kizaru has some closeness to Bonnie too. But that's where Stella says, you know what? I made up my mind. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna go save her, because again, he thinks of Bonnie as his grandchild. And of course, Sanji heard all this, and he's all fired up. She got kicked. You know Sanji will never tolerate a man putting his hand on a woman. That's his code. And he will never fight a woman. That's one thing you got to say about Sanji. He will never put his hand on a woman. We remember on Wano, he almost got killed by that giant spider woman, until Nico Robin came in and saved him. He was willing to allow himself to be killed before he put a hand on a woman. So he will never tolerate a man hitting a woman. He may be a pervert. He may be a pervert, a hentai, but he touch a woman like violently. No, and for that, I actually commend him. I actually respect that character. I think that's really good character development by Eiichiro Oda. And of course, Sanji says right there, if you're going to go rescue Bonnie-chan, you can count him in. So that's basically the plan that's falling into place right there. We go ahead and go forward right here. Frankie says he's going to go ahead and try to go rescue Stella, and leaves the ship in the care of Lilith's Vegapunk right there. And of course, Frankie's feeling kind of bad himself, because he couldn't stop Kizaru from kicking Julie Bonnie. So he's kind of feeling bad there himself. And of course, now we're going to go ahead and catch up with Jewelry Bonnie, who's now hiding from the Navy. And she goes on a little bit of a John Wick tour. She transforms into her small self, and she starts fighting these Navy. She's using her age fruit powers. I don't know if that's actually the name of the devil fruit, but anyways, Jewelry Bonnie's power is she has the power to age or de-age, either slowly or rapidly, anything that she touches. So she's putting those powers to good effect right there. She's moving in her young self, her kid self, and her adult self. She's attacking everything. There she is in her kid self, taking out a lot of these Navy soldiers. She turned one to a kid right there already. She's exhausted right here after all that fighting, because remember, she just took a kick from Kizaru, and just at the nick of time, she was able to save herself by using her powers to de-age that barrier. Find her. She must be around here somewhere, says the Navy. And of course, they're in the area around Sentomaru. Sentomaru actually had helped save her, because she was falling from the sky, and Sentomaru caught her. And then Sentomaru told her, hey, you got to run. You got to get out of here. The Navy is after you. And of course, they're still all checking around and everything. And of course, I thought this was only going to be at the beginning, and you know that this was all talking about how this is going to be a Luffy versus Kizaru fight. And you saw everything at the beginning. I thought that was the only thing that was going to happen. But nobody told me that this was actually going to be a Rob Lucci versus Zoro fight. Man, that fight was off the chain. That has to be some of the best hand-to-weapon combat I've seen in any type of anime. And you see right here, Zoro's using his observation haki partially a little bit to find out where Rob Lucci is, but he also says that I can already tell where you are based on your stink. But I did a little bit of research, and it basically says that it's just an artistic style to make it show that the swords are actually really infused with the haki, because we all know now that not only does Zoro have imbuement, the armament haki, where he can imbue his swords, turn them into harder than metal. He also has his observation haki, but he also has the colors of the Supreme King haki. So He's a total badass and everything like that. He's truly leveled up. He's taking out Hockey, and here's Lucci going in. And Lucci, by the way, is also powered up. You see this nice little cloud. It's something similar to what Luffy has when he's in the Gear 4 sumo phase. He's going off in there. Rob Lucci's all handling that. There he is again, a little bit more close up. Let's keep going. And of course, up in the sky, there's Luffy taunt both of those men. Zoro, you want my help? Luffy's just looking at them going at each other. And Zoro tells him, nah, you just worry about getting ready to take on Kizaru. But just check out these stills of these guys just going at one another. I mean, and of course, Lucci at one point, he kind of tires out. Zoro notices it and says, if you're tiring out from this already, don't expect to get a chance to go up against our captain. Now, that's a little bit incorrect because Lucci already did go up against Gear 5 Luffy, got his ass handed to him. I don't think Zoro was present there just yet to see that fight. I think he was. So this is kind of a incorrect statement. He should have said, you won't get a chance to go up against our captain again. But that's just a little tit for tat right there. But of course, Lucci actually recognizes that. He says, he tells Zoro that he has earned the title to be number 2 to an Emperor of the Sea. Killing you would be rewarding. And so, of course, this again is titled Luffy versus Kizaru. So now we're finally going to be getting over there, and now we're catching up to our man Kizaru. And like I said, he's one of the most laid back people ever. Here's the thing though, he can afford to be laid back because he's one of the most dangerous men in all of One Piece. There he is. I'm going to fall into the sea. No, you're not. You can control yourself. And so he calls up his special move, Yasakani Sacred Jewel. And so now he's getting ready to turn into a whole bunch of sparkly little light thingies, turning Kagebushin no Jutsu, pulling off his little Naruto clones. And each one of them are sentient clones, just like Naruto shadow clones. He forms a sword, Murakami sword, and he flies right back at Luffy. And let's put it this way, he is toying with Luffy. He is completely toying with Luffy. Luffy is doing this nice little move. He did a nice little move, a vacuum type move to sweep them all up. They're shining too bright. Oops. And he's dodging them all over the place. He's smacking them all over the place. Our kaiju fight versus this little Kizaru man. Well, it's not so bad after all, Kizaru says. A bigger target is easier to hit. Hey, where did we hear that line before? I'm pretty sure that line appeared in another anime. They may be easier to hit, but when they hit you, it's gonna hurt really, really, really bad. And so that's what basically what Luffy did. Which one is the real one? Well, it doesn't matter if you can hit all of them. Tricked ya, he tried to sit there and say, and he kicked all of them with the big giant foot. Gummu no stomp. But of course, was Luffy really playing with Kizaru, or was Kizaru really playing with Luffy? And of course, there he is right there, the real Kizaru, holding on to the lips of Usopp. Oh, that's so hilarious and everything. Absolutely hilarious. And of course, he's asking where the real Vegapunk is. Kizaru is a much better fighter than Luffy. He's gotten 8 years on him. Looks to be in about his late 50s, early 60s. Knows a thing or two. a good strategist. You wouldn't pick any of that up by how he's just so laid back and chill. But then that's what him, Shunsui from Bleach, and Shikamaru from Naruto all have. They're all laid back because they're always thinking, they're always calculating. They're very strong. They know that they don't need to go out there and put on airs, be boisterous, be blustery. They just, hey, it's all good, man. It's all good, man. Another one that can be off in there is Togame from Windbreaker. That's another one. Man, I tell you. All these characters that I'm thinking about off the top of my head where they're all too just laid back and chill. So, but yeah, he basically is still asking where he is. He notices that Dr. Vegapunk has already gone out. He's getting ready to go out there and rescue Giovanni. You see right there, Atlas and Stella Vegapunk, and there's Sanji got on top. Sanji asks, "What's wrong? Why are you so upset?" And of course, that's where we all find out, how could I leave a child like her in the lurch? And Sanji's like the rest of us, and a child. Sanji says, "What do you mean by that, a child?" And that's the secret about Juribani. Juribani is actually like 12 years old. I think she's like, what, 11? Anywhere between 10 to 12 years old. And her actual self, when she was fighting all those babies, when she was that little kid, that was her actual self. Juribani is not a grown-ass adult. So any of you men out there that was checking her out, hey, shame on you. Shame on you. I don't think I was checking out, was I? I hope not. So pretty much that's it. There's a Kizaru. He comes out there. He fires off a laser at Vegapunk, and of course, Luffy is there to save the day. He swallows that nice little. There he is right there. He swallows that light beam. Frankie tells Lilith to use General Frankie to carry the ship because Frankie is gonna go with those guys. And Lilith got the message. Luffy is starting to explode all over the place with that light in his belly and everything. There's a Vegapunk special tank type thing, the Vega tank, which can now transform to ride on the clouds. Atlas has been able to go ahead and take over the pacifistas, and they're now the pacifistas are going to start attacking the Navy. You see that he just turned around, attack on the Navy. But at the end of all this, we just see a cold calculating Saint Saturn. Saint Saturn's gotten tired of all this. He's gotten tired of all this. And that's where we're gonna. That's pretty much where it is right there. And at the end of the next one, the nightmare strikes. Godhead of Science and Defense, Saint Saturn. That'll be the next episode. So altogether, this particular episode was rocking. That Luffy versus Kizaru fight, you have had to be high to really understand what everything that was going on in that particular fight. And of course, we got the bonus fight with Rob Lucci versus Roronoa Zoro. Basically the two number twos on the islands going at one another. Excellent fight. I would prefer to see more of the Lucci versus Zoro fight than the Luffy versus Kizaru fight. But all is good in love and war. 9 out of 10 for this particular episode, and it sets up for the introduction of Saint Saturn. And if you guys saw the preview of that, a giant pentagram disappears out of nowhere. I don't think Saint Saturn is someone to be messed with. You know, anyone that's got a name Saint Saturn, called the Godhead of Science and Defense, it's got some type of, it's a combination of Berserk and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure going all off in there. So you guys jump down in the comments and let me know what you thought of this episode. Did it meet your expectations? Are you excited for the next episode? Jump down and let me know. And make sure you do like, share, subscribe, turn on all those post notifications, all that good stuff. It really helps me out. And remember, this is Chris Bolt signing off, and I will catch you in the next video. You guys take it easy.